Hello again. Welcome to another revolting review. My name is Ron, and today's movie will be the 2025 movie Hook. It's on Tubi right now. It's an hour and 19 minutes long. It's directed by Andrea Catanello, and it's based on the characters of Peter Pan. So if you're a big Peter Pan fan, you may be disappointed with how these characters are portrayed, but Peter Pan is a public domain character, so they can pretty much do whatever they want with him. So let's get right into the synopsis. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. There's a pre-title sequence where we find Hook is sniffing this pixie dust, which is apparently like crack, cocaine, meth, all rolled into one, and he's hooked on it. No pun intended. He's hooked on this substance, and it's made him go crazy. He's slaughtered a bunch of people, and during this time, he's dating Wendy. So yes, Hook and Wendy are boyfriend and girlfriend, and apparently they're really into each other until Hook, when slaughtering all these people, he also kills Wendy's best friend, and he kills Wendy's brother John. So she's had enough. This is the final straw, murdering her brother. So she runs away, is trying to escape from him. He runs after her. He's begging her to take this pixie dust so that they can be on the same wavelength and they can be together forever. And she's refusing. You killed everybody and blah, 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 blah. Then Peter gets into the mix. Peter and Hook scrap. Peter cuts off Hook's right hand, and then Hook cuts Peter's Achilles tendon, and then they scroll down to the ground where Hook's hand is, and scene, Hook, beginning title. So we fast forward to 18 years later, where Peter and Wendy are happily married. They're older. Peter still has the effects of the Achilles tendon being cut, so he has a cane and he has a limp. They both have a daughter named Lily. Lily is their 18-year-old. Actually, she's 17 because the next day is going to be her 18th birthday. So they have this daughter, Lily. Her best friend comes over and wants to give her an early birthday gift. So she gives Lily this, basically like a 23andMe printout of her family tree and her family lineage. And Lily loves it. And until she gets to the part where it says under father, it just says James. It doesn't have any last name, just James, or occupation. We don't even know in this movie if he's a captain or not. I don't know what he did for work, but anyway, Lily is like super upset, and she freaks the fuck out, and she goes to yell at her parents and confront them like, "Hey, who is my father? Why didn't you tell me about this? You lied to me my whole entire life. Wah, blah, 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 blah." She's way over the fucking top here. But they finally tell her, okay, this guy is your father. He's a bad man. You don't want nothing to do with him. Peter loves you. We both love you. And she's still obsessed with, you guys lied to me and I can never trust you. I'm out of here. So then she runs off to this sleepover party that her friends are going to throw for her. So she just kind of leaves that in limbo with no resolution to the scene. They're just like, she's just like, fuck you, I'm going to the party. So meanwhile, we see Hook he's being transported to execution, and they're doing it in this small car. They explain that apparently in this universe he's a known serial killer, so they didn't want to attract attention, so they put him in this car, and he's being transported by these two moron cops. And of course, one of them is a dickhead, and he starts, making fun of Hook and egging him on. And then, of course, he spills the beans on where Peter and Wendy are. So, of course, Hook kills them both, takes the car, and goes off to try to find them. Meanwhile, he also walks upon a trailer. Just these are random scenes. He just walks upon a trailer, finds a hook and a petticoat, and he's like, cool. He puts on this petticoat and then shoves the hook. I guess he took the handle off and he shoves it right in his stump. So that's his weapon for the entire movie. Of course, he's Hook. What else is he gonna fucking have? So We go to the party, and Lily is still upset. Her friends are trying to console her. Her friends are trying to help her through this. There's 6 other ladies there. So Hook eventually finds out about this party somehow, and he goes to kill everyone there and capture Lily. So he kills everyone. He captures Lily. He calls Wendy to lure her out and say, look, if you want her back, you come meet me. So she goes without Peter to go meet Hook. And of course he captures her, ties her up. So he's got Lily and he's got Wendy captured. And of course he's begging Wendy to take this pixie dust. They go a little over the top with how much he really wants her to take this. Like, it's kind of an intense scene. So he's like taking their heads and like and smashing it on the table so that that Wendy will sniff this dust. Well, she's not having it, so he goes, okay. So he goes to Lily and he says, hey, I'll make her do it, so she'll sniff it. And Wendy goes ape shit. No, don't, please, she's your daughter. Finally tells him. Then he stops. He kind of softens up, and he then begs them both to take this pixie dust so that they can be a happy family. And Peter and this cop show up to stop Hook. Hook comes outside, kills the cop. He beats the shit out of Peter again. And Lily and Wendy come outside, and they pretended like they took the dust to trick Hook. And he's like, great, we can be a happy family now. And he takes off his hook out of his stump, gives it to Wendy. He gives it to Lily to tell her to kill Peter. And she says, she has some kind of whatever line. She stabs Hook. Then she gives it to Wendy, and then Wendy just goes to town on him and hooks him like 1,000 times. And then that's pretty much end scene. It abruptly ends. After that, they kind of just get Peter up off the ground and they walk away. That's it. So, things I did love about this movie. There's a scene where one of the girls steps on glass. I love that kind of thing, and she pulls it out. They show her pulling it out of her foot. I love scenes like that where people step on glass. They're just so cringy, you know what I mean? That I love fingernail scenes where they're ripping your fingernails off. Those are cringy as well. And I also love like eye stuff, eyeball scenes, when they're popping or sticking something in somebody's eye. Cringy scenes, man, but I love those. I love when they're in movies. There's also the scene where Hook he runs over one of the cops' heads, so you see a quick explosion of head. Maybe I should have rephrased that. There's you see the head explode pretty well. It sounds the same. Anyway, they run over the head. You see a quick, smashing of the head. It's a good scene. It's probably the best kill in the movie by far. There's also another thing I loved, where there's these 2 chicks named Salt and Pepper, not to be confused with Salt and Pepper. These 2 are white girls that the blonde is of course Salt, the dark-haired girl is Pepper, and they're like these they're lesbian girls that do YouTube videos for their channel, so to get subscribers and stuff like that. I hope you're not expecting me to do any kind of stuff like that, because that's just not me. No thank you. So I love those 2. They're by far the best characters in the movie. And then the other thing I love is when people are aged up. So Lily is supposed to be 17, turning 18 in this movie, and she looks like a 30-year-old. It really takes you out of the movie every time she's on screen. They dress her like she's like a Japanese like schoolgirl in these ridiculous go-go boots and like 2, what do you call them, ponytails, side tails, whatever the fuck they are. And you're just like, really? You can clearly see she's like 35, but I love it. I love when they do that. It just, every character in this movie, all the girls look like they're in their 30s or, at least 25, and they're supposed to be like 17, 18-year-old girls. I love that kind of shit. Okay. things I didn't or did not love about this movie. One is there's a quick scene where these three girls are like screaming at this window. Like you're seeing their reaction, their terrified reaction. They're screaming, "Oh God, what is it? Oh, it's gonna kill us! Let's get the fuck out of here!" And then they never show you what the fuck they're looking at. They never show you what's outside the window. And I think they're on a second story, so who knows? I don't. They never show you. It's just something I hated because it was like an incomplete, unnecessary scene. So the other thing that I didn't or did not love about this movie is Hook himself. Now, Hook in the beginning of this movie is he looks like a pirate. Like he looks like he's from Pirates of the Caribbean. Again, they don't say whether he's a captain or not, but they kind of imply he's some kind of seaworthy guy. And then 18 years later, he's a different man playing the character, but he's clearly younger than the guy they had at the beginning. So this guy's supposed to be 18 years older, but he looks younger. He has his face that's cut up. Like he looks like Jigsaw in the Punisher Warzone. It's like all these scars. They never explain how he gets the scars. I think I tried going through this movie 3 times to see if I had missed it, and there was no explanation of why his face is all cut up. And he looks younger. He looks like a fucked up Elon Musk. That's just how he looks. And eventually, he switches his look from the pirate to this new guy, and then he goes off and gets the hook, and then he gets a petticoat that he wears, which looks pretty cool. He looks badass in this coat. But then later on, he switches look again, and they put a poncho on him with a hood, so he looks like the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. He's got the hook and the poncho, and they put even a worse mask on him. Like they changed the look. That he didn't look bad when he looked like fucked up Elon, but when they put this new mask on, I don't know if they were trying to portray like his skin was deteriorating, rotting away. I don't know, but changing his look 3 times in the movie was kind of like off-putting. I would have rather he stayed in the petticoat mode. Even though he looked like a pirate in the beginning, but his look is just weird. And then they close off half of his mouth, so he's talking like this, like he's got half his mouth closed, so it's also hard to fucking understand what he's saying, right? I don't know why they do that. He didn't have that when he was with the cops. Again, I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know if they switched makeup artists. They decided they didn't like that second look, which I could have dealt with. But that's a huge thing I didn't like about this movie is the look of Hook. The 3 best scenes in this movie. I'm going to say number 1 was Hook escaping from the cops. He kills one of them by kind of just choking him out, I think breaking his neck. But then he runs over the other guy with the car. It runs over his head. It's a good, like I said, the best kill in the movie. And then there's also a nice lady scene in a sauna, which this sauna it's about 10 minutes of the movie in this sauna. So Salt and Pepper are in this sauna, and they're trying to do a lesbian video for their followers. So they're trying to do it real sexy and they end up, of course, getting separated. Pepper wants to go off and yell at this other girl at the party who's been talking shit, and Salt stays in the sauna. He locks her in, turns up the heat. She gets burns. She survives that, only to get killed later on. But then he goes after Pepper, and he slaughters her with the hook, and he gets her in the neck, and then he stabs her. So that was the second scene that I thought was really good. And then the third scene I think is the end. The end when he finds out that Lily is his daughter. it's an awesome scene because once he finds out, he literally he softens up and he's like, it's hilarious. He apologizes, saying, "If I had known you were my daughter, I wouldn't have killed your friends, all right?" And he goes, "I thought they were Peter's blood." Or he goes, I thought you were Peter's blood. So he's like basically apologizing and is like, "Look, let's take this pixie dust." It's an emotional scene, sometimes a little over the top, but it's also it's kind of cool to see how he reacts when he finds out he has a kid. He's happy. He wants to be a family. He wants them to be, all three of them to be together forever, and let's just go kill Peter kind of thing. So those are the three scenes that I love in this movie. And my lasting impression, this film, it isn't that fucking bad. It's not that bad. There's a shit ton of plot holes, of course, but it's watchable. It's completely watchable. It's watchable as hell. And I still think it's better, 10, 20 times better than Leprechaun, the beginning. It's still better. So, you know what? Thanks, guys, for watching. You don't have to pay to play here. Just leave a like or subscribe or leave a comment. You don't got to pay to play here. We want to have fun. So, thanks for watching, and I hope I see you again.